Hey y'all, I'm Kiara Sheree.
And I'm Ray.
And welcome
And
to
welcome
Yes
to
Black
Yes Black Girl.
Girl. Woo, woo,
Ooh.
woo, woo, woo. No. All right, so Yes Black Girl is a digital space and interview series created for Black women by Black women. So stay with us for a while, and we hope that you leave feeling inspired. So how you doing, Raya? First of
I'm
all, I'm loving
good.
this. I need a little shake real quick. What?
Stiffware.
Step where? Okay. Period.
Not my hair. But I'm good. I feel good. I feel like my orange t-shirt. I feel nice and bright. My skin look
Mhm.
good. I
Yes,
had
it
some
does.
plants
You're glowing.
today. They look good. Yeah, I'm great. Watched the Oscars last night. Saw my friends on there. Feeling real
Someone for the
inspired.
Beyonce.
Yes.
Yes,
Shout out to
honey. That
y'all.
was a reset for
Yes.
me.
No, for real.
Loved it.
Like for real. I've been
Yeah, it
listening
was
to,
seeing blue for me.
and I didn't know that was her because I was like, who was that in that pantsuit? And then I saw it on Twitter. So yeah,
Yes, looking grown.
I've been listening to Be Alive all day. So yeah, how you
Same.
doing?
I'm good. And same for me. Like, I had to listen to that on my way to work. I was like, before I get up in here with these white folk, let me get a little extra, push. But I'm good. I just got back from Mexico. So I came back to cold ass Brooklyn, and I'm
Yes.
trying to readjust and reset. But the sun is shining today, so that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, speaking of the Oscars, girl, real quick before we move on, let's talk about this Will Smith
Woo!
situation. Oh my gosh, girl, that was like, I swear everybody on Twitter was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get no type of sleep that night because we was all just on there
People,
talking, having all this
hmm
discourse.
yeah, people are still talking about it. Like everything on my timeline is that now it's like think pieces. First it was jokes, and
You
now
know
it's
it's gonna be
like,
that.
oh, Will Smith, blah blah blah, Chris Rock should press charges and woo woo woo, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, mm-mm. It was real. Like, that's the way it should have been handled. You know, and it's just coming from a place of we do not see ourselves defended and protected enough. I was here for the whole thing. Like,
mm-hmm.
we really do need more of it, and I don't give a fuck that it was in at the Oscars in front of all these white ass people. Like, the
Okay,
Oscars, like, yes, we need to see this. He needs to be slapped, and it's like, I love how all the receipts are coming through now. We seeing all the other bullshit that he's done and said over
mm-hmm.
the course of the last few years. Like, he definitely deserved that slap.
Yes,
So
and people are surprised about Will Smith doing that, but like it's happened before. Like he was on the red carpet and
yeah,
the interviewer tried to kiss him on the mouth and he gave him like a little
yes,
little
smacked him
backhand.
too.
Yes.
But also, why would you think that a man from
And he's
West
from
Philly?
Philly. Like
Why would you think that he would not do that? Why?
he not
And
going
we
for
see
that.
that he be going from 0 to 100. You seen this man in these movies? But everybody think he just this goofy. All right, he let everybody
Yeah.
know though. But yeah, we support Will and Jada over here. All right,
Period.
so let's keep it
Um
moving.
Yes, so we are getting into our guest introduction. Today's guest is a creative entrepreneur born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. She specializes in professional dance, choreography, modeling, and photography. So she be doing it all.
You
Just as everybody on this show, we be doing it all.
yes.
And as an overall leader within her community, she strives to highlight all of the talent that comes from the hood. So let's give a warm welcome to Mazi Smazi.
Hey. Woo, woo, woo,
Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey.
how are you doing?
I'm really well. How are y'all? Thank you for having
We're
me.
good.
You're
Listen, we're
welcome.
so happy that you're here. You look amazing. First of all, it's the drip for
This
Thank
me.
you.
the hat, the
It's the
Thank
hat.
crochet
you.
bucket,
It's the glasses. It's
Thank
everything.
you, y'all. It is
the
Yes.
9 o'clock
gold.
in the morning where I'm at, so I had to throw on a hat and glasses because
Listen,
she's just
we
waking up.
understand. We
Okay.
understand. The way I just threw something on my closet, you
Right.
got to do what you got to
Right.
do. Mm.
Exactly. Okay. Well, we here.
Yes. All right. So let's get into this or that.
was
Yes.
fire. Hold on.
I love that song.
Listen, it's so
Hold on.
catchy. I never
Yes.
get tired of hearing it at all.
Nah, that was
All
fire.
right.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Shout out
Thank
to
you.
Warren Dumont.
Yes.
All right. So our first one is dancing or styling.
Ooh, wow, that's a hard one. Um, I'd have to go with dancing. Cause dancing is
Mm,
my first love. Like it's gonna always be dance for me. Just
I
because
love
it's just
that.
what I've been doing for so long. I'm so used to it. And it's a constant opportunity for exploration. So even if you're
Mm,
like been doing one style for years, then you can learn another style and then you can learn another style. And then once you're in that style, you can learn the vocabulary of that style. I just think
mm.
it's like always an opportunity to grow with dancing. But I love styling. But dancing is just my first love, regardless.
I
So
love that
yeah.
for you. That's
Felt
amazing.
Thank you.
yes.
It's a good one though. That was a really good one.
So next one is New York City or LA.
New York City. Don't play with me. New York City. I love LA for what it is, but and here's what I've learned, like especially since I've been touring, like nowhere else is New York. You can't even try to make it New York. And being born and raised there, like I'm Brooklyn to the death of me. It don't even matter where I'm at. So it's always gonna be New York.
Yeah. Bucket hats or snapbacks?
Ooh, bucket hats.
Bucket
Bucket
hats.
hats. I love a
Is
good
it
bucket hat.
is it because you're wearing one now or
I think
because
it's
I
because
got
I'm wearing one
mhm,
now.
mhm.
This is my favorite one though. This is actually a black woman's brand as well called Lima
Ooh.
Beanies. And she
Ooh.
makes custom like floppy buckets in all types of colors and sizes. And I really love her brand. So this is my go-to every day, especially with like the weather and everything. Like,
Mhm.
and I love to keep my head covered just for whatever reason. So I just
Same.
always love this hat. Hmm.
Yes. I feel like keeping your head covered like protects some of your energy, especially
Exactly.
especially in New York. Because I realize like
Yes.
if I'm not wearing a head wrap or a hat after the
Exactly.
day, I feel very drained and tired.
Exactly. Oh my God, yes. And
So
I
I
love to
connect
play
with
with
that.
like hair color and stuff, but I'm oftentimes like layered, especially being
Mhm.
from New York. Like we wear layers. So if I'm walking out the house and it's cold outside, like, and I have short hair, I have to cover my head. And like you said, it's an energy thing as well. So yeah, I always get my head covered for the most part.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. I definitely lost you guys.
Hey,
So
Welcome
where we
back.
at?
welcome back.
We are
Damn.
on the fourth this or that.
Okay, got you. All right, shortcuts or braids?
Ooh.
That's hard.
That's hard. It's shortcuts though. Because even when I had my
Hmm.
braids, I was like, damn, I'm ready for these to be gone. It's just they're so
Okay.
heavy.
Mhm.
I only say that
Hmm.
because I dance. So moving my head around and stuff, and like I have sensitive hair as well. So like it
Yeah.
breaking off, like it's just a whole bunch of things to take into consideration when I get braids.
Hmm.
But my short hair, I could rock that any day, get up and go. And I've been rocking short hair
Period.
for years, so I'm very accustomed to it by now. So
I feel that that's super relatable.
Mhm.
yeah.
Photography or modeling?
Oh, damn. Y'all hitting it. Y'all hitting it good.
Not that bad.
um, let's go with I'm gonna go with modeling. I'm gonna go with modeling.
Mm,
I like to be the subject, as crazy as it sounds. I like to be the
no, I
subject.
feel that.
But I also really love to photograph people, like just to
Mm,
show people's beauty. And I think it works that I am a model so that when somebody is in front of me, I'm able to direct them in a good way, like chin down or chin up or elevate your eyes more. Like there's certain things that I wouldn't know if I wasn't a model how to
mm.
photograph people. So I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna have to say both. Like I can't even settle on one, but Yeah, I love both, regardless.
I love that. That was a great ass answer.
Yes. Thanks.
All
Yes.
So
right.
we are getting into the questions now. So first one.
Okay.
So you do it all, as I stated in the guest intro, and it's giving Renaissance woman. So when did
Mhm.
you know you wanted to be a creative entrepreneur?
Um, well, both of my parents are entrepreneurs. So I've grown up watching both of my parents strive in their own lane. My father is a DJ full time, and my mother is a sound therapist full time. So watching them create revenue by doing what they love, it really was inevitable that I became an entrepreneur as well, because they show me that it can be done, and
Mm,
that with consistency and hard work, they work at their crafts every single day. Like my father is 55 and he's still DJing to this day around
period.
Brooklyn, and very well respected. My mother is sound therapist, same as well. So they do their thing, and it honestly wasn't even like an option for me to just work a regular job and just
Mm,
and that's no shade to anybody working a regular job. I want to make that clear. Like, somebody got to be working at the end of the day. But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like in my heart's desire to work for somebody else. Like, I want
right.
to carry out my visions on my own and create my own team.
I feel that.
So yeah,
Yes. We
Runs in the
love to see
family.
it. Okay.
very much. Thank you, y'all.
Of course. So we want to know, how did you get your start as a dancer?
Ooh, um, honestly, being from Brooklyn, like just seeing all the talent in Brooklyn, especially the raw talent, it inspired me to really get my start. I started dancing at Brooklyn Music School, and this is
Mm.
also known as BAM. So I started dancing
Mm.
there,
Okay.
and that's
Okay.
where I learned ballet, tap, African. I then went forward onto a Balance Dance Academy under the direction of Obadiah Wright,
Mm.
and he really instilled like my African dance training. Once again, tap, ballet, modern. I got all of those things under my belt at a very young age. I
Mm.
went through so many different dance schools in Brooklyn: Balance Dance Academy, Abundance Academy of the Arts, Our Folklore, Cradle in the Rock Youth Ensemble. These dance crews
What
all
schools?
instilled like different components of dance in me, but the main thing was African dance. African
Mm.
dance has always been my first love, West African dance. So, doing all those different things, I then graduated into the commercial dance world, and that's where I started dancing at Brick House NYC under the
Okay.
direction of Kelly Peters. So that's where I got all of my hip hop training, like popping, locking, breaking, waving, gliding, like Chicago footwork, light feet, all the different
Mm.
styles you could think
Come
of.
on, diversity.
Period.
Yes, like Kelly, who is my mentor, he doesn't play about like educating us about what hip hop is and street
Mm.
styles, like how to properly do them. He brings in the greats who, like, some people who have been doing this style for forever that can teach it and teach it to us well. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's how my dance journey is. It's a
It's
long one, but
incredible.
I'm still here, still running.
Listen, you got
Yes.
so much more to do, and that's incredible. That's
Yes,
dope as
for
hell.
real. So much more to do.
Hmm.
Reminds me of my childhood. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, so much work. I spent all the time in the dance studio.
Yes. Yep.
Um, yes.
All those black girls have been in black dance schools in Brooklyn, okay?
Hmm. Yes. So, you've danced with major artists such as Cardi B, Tiana Taylor, and many more. What were those experiences like, and how did they challenge your growth as a dancer, or
mm,
just an overall
um,
artist?
for sure. My first dance job was with Tiana Taylor.
Mm.
I was actually 17, and
Wow.
Tiana Taylor's set is very grown. And I was
Mm.
at a time in my life where I was coming into my confidence. Um, I feel like I was transitioning from little girl to big girl, and I really had no choice but to step up to the plate because I got selected for the job. It was a open call audition. It was all day long, and I actually went with like no intention to book. I was just like, let me just see what this is about. My first audition in New York, why not try it? And I actually made it through. And when I made it through, Tiana, she was with us the entire day. Shout out to her because most artists don't do
Yes.
that. But
You're
she was
wrong.
with us all day long. And when I made it through, she made me battle like three girls. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, I'm the youngest. And she knew I was the youngest. And she's like, yo, like, you got to do what you got to do. I battled
Right.
each girl. And I was very well prepared in that way because we do that at Brick House, which is where I was training.
Mm.
We're always battling at Brick House. So that was like a moment of like, okay, put your, can I curse? Is that okay?
Yeah, girl,
Yeah.
go
put
ahead.
your
Go ahead.
put your shit to the test and don't
Yes.
fold. So I made it through. I made it to the core ensemble, and
Mm.
that job was just. It was more so about me stepping into my womanhood more than anything,
Mm.
because it's about the power of being sexy and your body showing up. I was like 17, but still coming into my body. And I'm like, ah, it
Right.
was a whole bunch of men in the room as well. So a lot of things like changed in me when I did that job. Once I did
Mm.
Tiana Taylor, that really like jump started my career for real. I was like booking consistently after that. And
Mm.
every single job has been different, but I want to shout out Bam Amin Ra and Eddie Morales. Those are my like two big brothers in this industry who I've danced with almost everybody. And
Mm.
they saw my talent and basically took me under their wing and they kept me booked. That's how I got Cardi B, Adam Lambert, all these different jobs. And their choreography is not easy. So to pick that choreography up and be training under them for long hours within the day, it's tiring on the
Mm.
body, but it really made me like know that I can do this because their choreography
Yeah.
is not easy. And it's
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
only going to continue to get harder the more people that I start to work with. So I
Absolutely.
kind of have a standard now, and I like that for myself because I can get on the job and be like, oh, this is a piece of cake. Or I could be like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to put my helmet on and get to work and think. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Overall,
awesome.
all the jobs that I've worked on have been really great. I haven't had any bad job experiences
That
yet.
That's
is
a
beautiful.
blessing.
That
I
Yes.
is
pray it doesn't get bad.
because I
No.
have heard some horror stories
Yeah.
from people I
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
and yeah,
Yeah. Haven't we all?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are three things that a non-dancer may not know about being a professional dancer?
Mm. I would say number one, your look is very important. Honestly, I feel like if you don't have a distinct look, it'll be a little harder for you to work as a professional because we're often used as models in the dance
Mm.
world. Like we are the art. And if your hair isn't bright and, just if certain things aren't together, it will be a little harder for you to keep
Mm.
going through the industry. My look is like my short hair, my short blonde hair. So that's always a go to for me.
Mm.
Another thing is, hmm, Another thing is your social media. That plays a big role nowadays. I mean, social media is basically used as our resumes. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
using your page for personal use, and like you can use it for personal use, don't get me wrong. I still post about myself but certain things I just keep in the stories rather than on my feed because they
Mm-hmm.
want to see your work. And I've seen it firsthand. These casting directors go to your page and they will go away from it because you're not showing your work on your page. So it's no
Mm.
use in them wasting their time trying to scroll. Like if it ain't in those first three, it's
Yeah.
kind of clipped. So
Mm-hmm.
social media plays a big role, your look. And honestly, I feel like being well versed as a dancer, like really, if you feel like you're good in one style, go to the next style. Keep racking up on different techniques because you never know what you're gonna have to put to use on a job.
Mm,
So yeah, those would be my top
that's
three.
dope.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us about your latest work, the Black Future Month video project, and how the idea came about.
Yes. Yes. So the Black Future Month project was a project I did with my friend Flor de Lis Espinal, and she's an amazing photographer from the Bronx. And we met
Mm,
through my cousin, Seti J, and we were just all doing a shoot one day and we just started chopping it up and instantly connected. So from there we carried out um a few different I'm sorry a few different shoots, and then
okay.
our bond like started to like come together. So I texted her, I'm like, yo, I really want to do something to highlight Black creatives this month
Mm,
in specific. And I've been wanting to do a series like this for a very long time. Like, my mother was telling me when it released, she's like, yo, you've been wanting to do this for a minute now. So the fact that it happened with the right person at the right time,
mm-hmm.
it's a great
Yep.
vision if he executed.
Manifestation.
Yeah. So that project was so close to my heart because I know so many different Black creatives, especially in New York City. Like, that's where all the raw talent is for me. And I've
Mm,
been watching these creatives that were in the film for years do their own projects, some being rappers, dancers, stylists, artists, visual artists, like so many different people that I'm around because of Brooklyn. I wanted to highlight them and show the world that, what we bring to the table is very important. And we're creating Black
absolutely.
history every day,
Mm-hmm.
especially as a new generation. So I was really happy to be a vessel and just show the talent that comes from the hood.
Yeah, that's dope as
Yeah.
hell. And I feel
Thank
that we
you.
definitely need to see more of it. And
Yeah,
that's a big thing. I love that Black Future Month is becoming more like prevalent.
I agree.
Because we do talk about the same people every single
Hmm.
Yep.
year after year. And it's
That's
like,
what
okay,
I'm
but who's
saying.
making history right now? What's
That's what I'm
happening
saying. And
now?
so many people are making history. So many different things are being celebrated every day, but we
Right.
constantly focus on the past. And I'm not saying the past isn't important. The past is
Right.
definitely important.
That's
It's
our
how we came
foundation.
about. That's our
Mm-hmm.
foundation, but we're
Facts.
constantly creating new things every day that need to be
Mm-hmm.
celebrated as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And our
Facts.
generation is breaking so many cycles and so many
Mm.
ways of the
Yes.
old
Speak on
generation.
it. Speak, speak, speak.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Listen,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
definitely are.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us how you were able to build your creative network. I know you just spoke a little bit about meeting people like through your dance crews and through school and things like that.
Yeah.
But what are some other ways that you were able to build that network?
Going to parties for real. Like, I love to
Mm,
party. I'm young, I'm a
okay.
Gemini, and I love to be outside. So going to
Yes.
Yes.
parties, just I feel like when you have a certain like style or whatever, people are like, "Hi, like who are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yep.
"Hey, how you doing?" So yeah, I feel like I've connected with a lot of people through parties, through events, just
Mm,
networking, not feeling afraid to speak and be like, "What's up? I really like your outfit. What do you do?" So I've done a lot of that. Definitely in dancing, that's helped me meet a lot of people. Styling, just being in certain rooms, I've attracted a lot of different people, and we've been able to connect on a personal level. I feel like if I'm going to talk to anybody, like it has to be like genuine, and I don't just
mm,
talk to talk.
Yeah.
yeah.
So everybody that is close to me and is around me, like we actually know each other, have had a real
Mm-hmm.
conversation. So yeah.
That's facts. That's lit.
That air
Yeah.
sign energy.
Feel
Gotta keep
me?
it
Mm-hmm.
moving.
Yep. Gotta
Yeah.
keep it moving.
So, can you tell us a fun fact about your early career that people may not know about you, unless they're like really
Mm.
close to you?
Mm. What's a fun fact? Okay. I've been modeling since I was 3. I was signed with
Amazing.
Ford Modeling Agency at the age of 3. and they got me a lot of my big work as a child model. And I was on the running, the opening of Sesame Street for like 5, 6 years.
Yes.
So
So
yeah.
cute.
That's lit
Thank
as
you.
hell. Come on, Sesame
Thank
Street.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
That is,
y'all.
sunny
Thank you.
days.
listen, you've
I
been
gotta give
working,
myself
working.
that. Yes.
Gotta
Seriously.
be out here.
Seriously. Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what are some of the challenges that you face as a creative entrepreneur?
Mm. The biggest challenge has got to be like fighting for your correct rate as a
Mm,
working artist. Okay, like a lot of these productions don't put, the budgeting aside to accommodate a dancer or choreographer or a stylist. It really doesn't matter which lane I'm in. It's always me
mm,
fighting for my rate. And I just feel like it shouldn't be that way. You're coming to me, you know that I could do a job correctly. You know that what my services include, and like the fact that, and sometimes it's goes above their head, the person who I'm in communication with, but it's still like,
mm.
come on now. Everybody got
Right.
to get paid, and everybody has to pay rent at the end of the day.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
that's probably been my biggest challenge, but it's also taken for me to really put my voice to use, because if I didn't have a strong voice, I would be taking a lot of these jobs underpaid and doing so much work to be underpaid. But since I have
Mm,
such a strong voice, I won't even allow that. And I'm confident enough to pass up on a job if it's not
mm.
paying correctly. So
Facts.
I feel like that's probably been my biggest challenge. And it can be really frustrating to see, like, in my industries, how people take jobs that are not
Mm,
paid correctly. And I've really been
yeah.
trying to advocate for that. Like, come on now, y'all. Like, you know
Yeah.
what we do, how we train, and how long we've been doing this for you to not take a job that's properly
Right.
paid, regardless of the name. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. Like, it's still you, it's still your body that you're putting on the line. There's so many
Right.
things that come into play to do a job
Yeah.
correct. So,
Right.
Yes.
yeah,
You need your
that's it.
coin. She
Yeah,
said if
come
it ain't about
on.
the money. Right.
Yes.
You're not doing
I
right.
love it, but things still got to get paid, okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you just answered our next question, but
Mm.
speaking of rates, there is a live stream online discussion with SAG AFTRA about like contracts and stuff today at 1 p.m. If you didn't
Oh,
know.
yes.
So
Didn't know.
yeah, if you want me to send you
That's
the
what's
link, I
up.
can.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, the next question is about like the mistreatment of dancers in the industry of all levels and how you would
Yeah.
navigate the issues and if you were impacted by any of them. But you just answered that.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to the next one. So, so let's talk about your name, Mazi Schmazi. Schmazi or Schmazi? Schmazi. Okay.
Smazzy or schmazzy,
Schmazi.
however you feeling.
Okay. Got you. And how did you come up with that? And does it hold any special meaning for you? Or were you given that name?
Mazi is my family nickname. My
Mm,
parents have been calling me Mazi for as long as I've been in this world. And I feel like one day when I was like maybe 17, 18, I was like, I'm going to just put my Instagram name as this. I went through a lot of different Instagram names. I was actually looking at them the other day. I had one that said, the Fresh Kid of Bed-Stuy, Molly Mulan. I'm like, this
Yes.
is insane.
yes.
So I finally settled on Mazi Smazi, and I really took it and ran with it. People think my name is Mazi. Like, so it's just, that's what I've done now. It's just Mazi Smazi.
That's so
And I added the
simple.
$ because abundance, okay? Keep the money
Come on now.
flowing.
Gotta manifest that money. The
Yes.
Period.
coin is coming through.
Period. 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 Period.
Okay. So speaking of like aesthetic and coming into your own, your look is so different and we love it. We just listen, as soon as you came on the camera, it was like, okay, this whole look
Yes.
is
Thanks.
hitting. So where do you get your style inspiration from? And what's your favorite piece of yours that you wear the most often?
My style inspiration comes from being from New York. Like, I worked in Soho for years, and I
Mm,
worked at this. retail store called Opening Ceremony. And I feel like that's
Mm,
really when I came into my personal style because my coworkers are just so fly. Like I just was like, I have no choice but to step it up. And we were
okay.
getting that good discount. So I was getting all the pieces for the low.
Yes.
So that's when I really came into my style. And I feel like
Mm,
I mix my style with like coziness, but still fly. Like I love good
mm,
sweatpants. I love a good statement pant. I love hoodies. I love good hats. And I love glasses. Like glasses are my thing.
mm,
So all of those different things, I was able to really like come into my style and see
mhm,
what pieces I like and what works for me and my body. But my favorite is this hat. Like
Yes.
yeah,
everybody see me in this hat all the time. It's just my favorite. It's so comfortable. I feel
mm,
protected. I feel safe, and I still feel fly. So this is my favorite
yes.
piece. I'm gonna shout it out again. This is Lima Beanies. Um, she's a up and coming black designer out of Brooklyn, and she's a
Mm.
black woman. So get into it.
Okay, got to throw her on the page. And if you see me
Yes.
with one of
Had
those, a
to.
variation of the hats, just know
Period. Get them. Get
it's
them.
cute as
I
hell.
love them.
I'm gonna have to
Yes,
get me
I
a
love
Yes,
llama
this hat.
beanie.
Period.
yes.
I will be
Yes.
sending y'all the page. Don't you worry.
Thank you.
Please do.
Thank you. So, your mission for the Black Shop is to display powerful messages through street fashion. So, when did you realize when your community needed to be uplifted and informed through the Black Shop and its apparel?
So the Black Shop was birthed in the height of the Black Lives Matter protests. I feel like during that time, everybody played a different role. Me personally, I wasn't out protesting, but I was advocating through social media. And that was just as important for people to stay informed about what's happening while people are protesting out there, this, that, and the third. So I was like, I want to take this message because activism has always been something I've been attracted to, but I wanted to take the message of uplifting Black people and not necessarily putting our trauma on the forefront and
Mm,
put it with my clothing. Because if I ever did start a clothing line, it wasn't going to be surface level. It wasn't just going to be cut and sewn pieces that
mm,
anybody could make. I really wanted to put messages out there. That was the most important
love
part for
that.
me. It ain't even really about the pieces per se. I'm getting more like, with fancy with the pieces. This is like a dip dye, but like I really want to instill messages in people. So
Mm.
that's how the Black Shop came about.
That's dope. I feel like that's something that people used to do back in the day. Like you would look at sitcoms and stuff, and everything
Right.
was like very uplifting just through what people were wearing. And I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, we definitely got
Yeah.
to get back to that.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
switching gears a little bit, being a creative that's well versed in multiple mediums, what is a typical day like for you?
A typical day for me is I make my day for real. So, I might get up. I've been really indulged in matcha lately. It's so bomb. It's
Okay.
energizing. Really been feeling
Mm-hmm.
matcha. But it really depends on the month. This month in specific, I'm gonna be preparing for Coachella for the artist I choreographed
Ooh,
for by the name of Princess Nokia.
come on,
Yes.
Coachella.
So we're
That's
about to be
major
in
as
rehearsals.
hell.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank
Yes.
you, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. So we're getting into rehearsals for that. It's really about me taking care of my body when I have off days, whether that's going to the
Mm,
spa or getting a massage or just laying the fuck down. So it can be hard for me to just sit still as an air sign. So
yeah.
yeah, but when I'm choreographing, it's mainly just rehearsals. And that's
Mm,
leading rehearsals, making sure we're all looking the same, everybody's on the same page. And yeah, that's what
yeah.
my next month is about to look like.
You're gonna be busy,
Yes.
busy, busy. Mm,
Period. I'm
love to
proud
Yes.
of
see it.
you.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you, ladies.
Because we are not seen enough in the dance industry. Like growing up, because
Yeah.
you would see videos and you learn the choreography, and then you're like, how do I get there? So to see
Mm-hmm.
Right.
people who look like me
Right.
do that is very
Thank you.
inspiring, and
Thank you.
it just
Thank you.
reminds me to keep going because I'll be wanting to
Yes.
quit. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yes,
I'll be one to quit too, girl. For real. I
I
have my
understand.
days where I'm like, shit, but we prevailed. You know, if God
Hmm.
gives you a gift, you got to carry on out that gift. Period.
Facts.
You'd be fighting
Yes.
yourself if you're not, you know.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's a
Fighting
word.
your heart. Yes.
Yes,
That's a
Yes.
word. Come on now. You gotta come through with this song.
Yes. So the next question is relating to Princess Nokia. So you went on tour with her as a dancer and choreographer. So what was it like working those two roles at the same time, and what steps did you
Mm.
take to prepare to wear these two hats?
So, Princess Nokia, I love her. She's a sister to me. We've really grown close touring with each other. But um, at the beginning of this process, her best friend and creative director, he reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, like we have a performance coming up. I'd love for you to cast another dancer and y'all just dance." I'm like, "Okay, is there a choreographer?" He's like, "No, you can make it up." I'm like, "Oh, okay." The way he said it was just like, "Nah, you can make it up." I'm like, "Okay." So
All right.
You
that
got
was
this.
really what started me doing choreography. I've always made up dances, of course, like that's always been a thing. But for an
Mm,
artist, I don't know. It's interesting. Every year, and I was telling my mentor this, every year something else drops in my lap that I'm like, okay, like, am I supposed to do this? I guess I'm supposed to do it. So
mm-hmm.
once that dropped into my lap, I just put on a hat and I'm like, okay, let's get it. Like, why not? So that's when I
Yes.
casted my other friend, Maya, who is my opposite when we're touring. Um, and we were in her crib making up dances like all night just to each song in the set. And it was interesting at first. I had to really find my groove with choreography because I'm like,
Mm,
we're putting too much in this. Like, we're gonna
Hmm.
die if we do this much for a 40-minute
mm-hmm.
set. You can't do all that for a 40-minute set.
Yeah.
We need to take our breaks. We need to see where we can have our breathers. Like, even if we
Mm,
just gonna groove this out rather than going hard for
right.
a 3-minute song. So I really
Hmm.
had to find my groove with how I choreograph. I think I'm found it now, but yeah, wearing those two hats, being a dancer and choreographer, I really just put it to the test when we did our most recent music video with her, the No Effort music video. That's when I was like, ooh, this is a little challenging. Just being able to watch everybody and you still being in the ensemble, even counting them in like 5, 6, 7. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking, we had in ears, and I'm like speaking inside, like 5, 6, 7, trying not to show the camera. Trying not
Okay.
to shut it down, that I'm like leading this group of girls. So yeah,
Mm,
it's definitely challenging, but I feel like the more I do, and I feel like I'm not going to dance and choreograph in everything that I do. One thing I'm
right.
just gonna choreograph for. I'm gonna want to watch from the sidelines and see what's
Yeah.
happening.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's a great process
Ironically,
though. Yeah,
yeah. And
it's
ironically,
just
it's
learning.
being called no effort.
Right. No effort. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
All right. So most people don't know this, but touring can be very stressful. So when you found moments to ground yourself, what did you do? And was it just one thing, or do you have like a routine that you stick to?
Luckily for this tour, we had a lot of off days because it's really
Mm.
important. Here's another thing too. Me, Nokia, and Maya are all Geminis. Me
Woo.
and
Oh
Nokia
my goodness.
are both Gemini, Scorpio, Sag.
I'm
So
a
What?
we're all
Scorpio.
kind
Wow.
of on the same wave, but it's important for Nokia to have her time to recoup. So we
Mm,
had a lot of off days, which was great. We would go to a country and be off for maybe like 2 days or 3 days before we perform. So we were able to
mm,
travel and then rest in the hotel for one day. Me and Maya, um, sometimes we would like fight resting because we're like, damn, we're in a different country. Like we need to
mhm,
get up and out and see what's going on. But
mhm.
when you're dancing like on a festival stage, like you are really putting your body through it. Like
Yeah.
the amount of energy that goes into like dancing bigger and just like so many different components of being on a festival stage is like,
Mm,
yeah, the body is going through it. So we had to rest one good day.
Mm-hmm.
We would eat really good. I mean, me, I love to eat. So
Girl, me too.
everywhere where we were at, I was exploring different food. That's if we rested all
I love
day and went
that.
out and got something to eat at night. But I really just listened to my body. All in
Mm,
all, I don't fight my body. Like if I have to sleep, I have to sleep, regardless of where I'm
that's
at. If
it.
we're here for one day, like I just still have to take my time and get my rest. So yeah,
That's
resting,
dope.
resting, resting, water, especially getting on planes and
Okay.
wearing a
That
mask and
H2O is
yep,
imperative.
long
Yes.
flights. So water always. I had a lot of different vitamins as well.
Mm,
Being and dealing with different air qualities. So I was taking vitamins every single day. I did not miss that because I can't get sick. If I get
yeah.
sick, it ain't no point in me being here. So yeah,
Right.
had to
That's
keep the
cool.
health
Mm-hmm.
on check. Yeah.
Yes.
What's your favorite?
So, oh,
I'm sorry, Rhea.
sorry.
What's your favorite
No, you're
country
good.
that you visited so far?
Mm, Copenhagen, Denmark.
Mm,
Ooh,
I
okay.
really
ooh.
enjoy
On
Copenhagen.
Denmark. What?
It's funny. It kind of remind me of New York, like just the
Okay.
way it's
I
kind of
see
like
that.
set up, and it was
Mm-hmm.
very like modernized. The food was good too, because not every country's food hit. Not gonna lie to you, but Copenhagen
Mm-hmm.
definitely was great with the food. The people were really nice. It was a lot of cool street style too that I vibe
That's
with.
dope as
So
hell.
yeah,
I love that.
that
Shit,
was
let me go
fun.
to Denmark now.
Okay, do a
Yeah,
little quick
yeah. I
trip.
mean, shit.
Okay.
I
Yes.
mean, shit. I know I'm not gonna be in the U.S. for the rest of my life, so yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
Give me a
yeah,
little
good.
private island or something. Just
yeah, something.
I'll check in with y'all every now and then, but
Cause it's getting weird.
it's been weird and it's
It's
getting
been
weirder.
weird.
It's been
Okay,
Just
weird.
weird.
Okay.
time to get on up out of here.
Yeah,
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 facts.
People be weird.
yes,
So,
Mm-hmm.
as
yes.
you stated earlier, you landed a deal with Ford Models in their children's division. How did that come about, and what was your experience like as a child in the modeling industry?
Mm. Well, this goes back to me being 3. So I'm gonna kind of give you some things I remember, but I
Yes,
don't
you remember.
remember everything. But my mother had a friend who, let me get this story together. My mother had a friend whose child was a model as well. And I mentioned to my parents, I can say one thing. As a little, I was always like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to be on TV. I want to be
Mm.
on that ad. Like, and my parents, they listen. They're like, oh, okay, like, shit, we can make that happen. So
Okay.
my mom had a friend whose child was also modeling, and they basically walked me in, and I had a meeting with Ford. They actually don't let the parents come in the room, so I just went in the room by myself, and I walked out with a contract. And I don't really remember it. I don't even know the guy's name. Like I don't remember anything. But this is the story that my parents told me. So I'm like, okay, like wow. So I went forth by myself, and from
Mm.
there, Ford put me on with DKNY. What else? Blues Clues.
Yes.
Man, it was
Yes.
a lot of different things that I did as a child model. But my parents always told me, because they were taking me to these things, but they always told me like, you've been this way, like the how focused I am and how determined I am. Like when the
Mm-hmm.
children were, being children on set, I'm like, Psh, like
You
it's
like
time to
no,
work,
baby. We here
guys.
to
Like
work. Yes.
We
we're
are
here to work.
professionals.
We're
We're at
professional. Like
work.
what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been this way. Like it's been
I
instilled
love
in me
that.
since I was young. So yeah.
Listen,
You're
like
not
you
new to
said
this. You're
earlier,
true
when
to
you're
this.
given a gift, you're right? That's your passion, and that's what you're supposed to be
Yes.
doing.
Nah, for real. I definitely feel like I'm on this earth to create. Like it's my passion
Mm-hmm.
for sure. This is what I'm here to do. So
Yes.
yeah.
Facts. 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 All right. So our last question for you: do you have any tips or advice for aspiring and current entrepreneurs in creative industries?
Um, my biggest tip would be to be consistent. Whatever
Mm,
you feel like you're best at, like really work towards your craft every day. As
Mm,
cliche as that sounds, like just being consistent in something breeds success. You're notifying the universe that this is what I want to do, this how passionate I am about it. You're putting in hours,
mm,
you're putting in the time. So consistency is always rewarded in my eyes. And just be yourself, like get to know yourself. Like that's my biggest thing as an artist. A lot of these artists are lost because they don't know
mm,
themselves and they cling to their outlet as them knowing themselves. Like you have to do the
mm.
actual work within yourself
Yeah.
to really like breed your success. So
Mm,
yeah, getting to know yourself is your best bet and being consistent.
that's beautiful.
Yes.
All right. So
Thank you.
that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much, Mazi
Yay.
Smazzy, for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thank you. So
Okay.
happy to have done this.
Yes. This was awesome. Can you please let the people know where they can follow you? It's going to be scrolling at the bottom also.
Yes, y'all can find me at Mazi Smazzy, MAZI SMAZI on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook, Mazi the artist. And yeah, thank
Love
you.
it.
So, thank you to our viewers for tuning in. We will be back next Monday. So, until then, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Yes Black Girl. That is YasBlackGirl. And follow us on
Okay.
Instagram at Yes Black Girl Series, and follow Kiera and I
Yes.
at The Only Raya and Unique Genre on Instagram as well.
Period.
Until next
Okay.
time,
Bye.
bye.